Covalent Studios was conceptualized as a potential DAO by a group of creative practitioners in Johannesburg with an interest in developing an equitable, creative, and collaborative space for working. It was modeled after the shared studio as a site that could engender exchange and the sharing of resources, skills, and expertise. This platform was imagined to evolve more integrated networks by providing practitioners with an online space where they can seek out connections for individual and collective projects. Imagined as an intermediary facilitating organization, the studio was envisaged to provide a remote or temporary setting for artists to initiate working together and share skills or resources that they may have available and are willing to share with others. This could range from finding someone with installation experience, technical equipment, or skills such as editing, printing, or curating. These skills or resources could then be negotiated and exchanged within the studio platform. The main premise for the studio was to again engender a cross-pollination of skills and networks that would catalyze connections otherwise missed. Covalent Studios was a response to the city's existing art ecosystem that is shaping creative outputs and trends. From curators, artists, writers, critics, editors, installers, exhibition spaces, public galleries and museums, including public and private funding bodies. As a paper prototype, we looked to existing artist studios and artist-driven initiatives in Johannesburg and Cape Town that responded to local conditions and which have been important spaces for artists to expand their practices. The economic and material conditions that drive our different art ecologies differ from city to city. These conditions are part of a broader schema of society in which the art world exists. The economic discrepancy and inequity amongst communities are further proliferated, if not exacerbated, by the art world, which has been historically driven by an economic elite. This discrepancy is evident around a global north and south axis.
It's estimated that over 11 million South Africans belong to some form of stokvel, with this kind of savings schemes said to be holding annual savings in excess of 44 billion rand. Stokvels are traditionally used by groups of individuals to save for the same goal, like buying groceries or school supplies. But players in the industry say things are evolving and more people are using stokvels to build wealth.
The prospect of creating a DAO for artists to manage, coordinate, and pool funds and resources was inviting. Over a series of workshops, we discussed what kind of stake members could have in the studio, what kind of rules of engagement would be necessary, and how they would be incentivized for participating as studio members. Questions around consensus and collaboration were explored. These conversations also included what role other institutional bodies could play in relation to the studio. We did not come to any concrete solutions that were viable, nor accommodate our various modes of working. When developing the paper prototype, we imagined the member network of the studio to rely on blockchain and contracts to facilitate the exchanges. But we also realized that it may not be necessary nor feasible for all these transactional instances to be on-chain.